This video is about the waiter was mocked but Heiress turned her tears into joy. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the heart of the bustling city of Eldridge, the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over the streets. Ted, a waiter at a quaint bistro called Luna's Embrace, hurriedly wiped down tables. His hands moved deftly, a testament to his years of experience, his mind drifting to dreams he held close, dreams of becoming a chef one day. Behind him, laughter erupted from a table of well-dressed patrons. Ted glanced back, his heart sinking a bit. They were the kind of people who wore their privilege like a badge and often mistook him for a mere servant. As he approached to take their order, he spotted a woman in her early 20s seated among them, her striking beauty somehow contrasting with the disdainful chatter. "Another round of drinks, please," one of the men barked, his voice dripping with arrogance. "And make it quick, would you? We don't have all day." Ted nodded, suppressing the knot tightening in his stomach. As he turned to head toward the bar, the laughter erupted again. He paused for a moment when he heard one of the women mockingly say, "What's the matter, Ted? Afraid of breaking a nail?" He felt the flush of embarrassment creep up his cheeks. It wasn't the first time he had been mocked, but each time felt like a dagger piercing through his resolve. He took a deep breath, reminding himself that he was more than their jokes. He had dreams that were worth fighting for. The bistro, though small, was a mosaic of the city's diversity. It was where stories intertwined, where the joy of a first date mixed with the sorrow of goodbyes. Ted looked out at the world beyond the bistro's glass doors, the laughter and light spilling out, and felt a flicker of hope. He believed that one day he would serve not just tables but his culinary creations to people who truly appreciated them. Meanwhile, across the room, Ava Sinclair sat silently with her friends. Dressed in a flowing cream dress, her presence exuded an elegance that belied her inner turmoil. Despite her privileged upbringing, she often felt like an outsider, trapped in a world that seemed to value material wealth over genuine connection. She observed the scene around her, a smile plastered on her face, but inside, she was wrestling with her own insecurities. Ava longed for depth in her relationships, for authenticity amid the hollow laughter of her social circle. Watching Ted, she saw the kindness in his eyes and the dignity with which he carried himself, even under the weight of ridicule. As the evening wore on, Ava's friends continued to tease Ted, their laughter echoing through the bistro. Ted's heart sank deeper with each mockery, but he persevered, determined not to let their words define him. Each drink he carried, every order he took, was a step toward his dream. When the night finally came to a close, Ted's shift ended, and he stepped outside to breathe in the crisp night air. He felt the world around him fade, lost in thought about the culinary school he longed to attend. Just as he began to walk away, he heard a voice calling out to him. "Excuse me." It was Ava, her voice soft and steady. Ted turned, surprised to see her standing there, away from her group of friends. Yes," he replied hesitantly, unsure of what to expect. "I wanted to apologize for how my friends treated you tonight," she said, her sincerity etched across her face. "It was rude and uncalled for." Ted was taken aback. "Thank you, but it's okay. I am used to it." "No, it isn't okay," she insisted, stepping closer. "No one deserves to be treated like that. I admire how you handled it. Not everyone can stand tall under mockery." Her words ignited a spark of warmth within him. "It's just part of the job," he said, trying to shrug it off. Still, she continued, her eyes bright with compassion. "I believe that how we treat others reflects who we are. You deserve kindness." Ted felt a swell of emotion rise in his chest. "Thank you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's nice to hear that from someone." Ava smiled, her heart swelling with empathy. In that moment, she saw not just a waiter, but a young man with dreams and aspirations. "Can I ask you something?" she ventured. "What do you want to do? I mean, aside from waiting tables." His eyes lit up. "I want to be a chef. I've been cooking since I was a kid. I dream of opening my own restaurant one day." Ava felt a jolt of inspiration. "Why don't you?" "I don't have the money for culinary school," he admitted, his gaze dropping to the pavement. "And I have to support my family. It's just not possible." "But it could be," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "If you were passionate about it, maybe we can find a way." Ted looked at her, skepticism etched on his face. "You don't even know me. Why would you want to help?" "Because I believe in you," she replied earnestly. "I see your potential, and I want to help people like you. I was lucky enough to have opportunities growing up, and I want to share that." A mixture of hope and disbelief swelled within him. Are you serious? You do really help? Yes, I would, she said with a determined nod. Let us find a way to make your dream a reality together. Sincerity in her voice stirred something deep within Ted. Hope began to replace the doubt that had long held him captive. All right, he said, a smile breaking through the remnants of his earlier pain. Let us do it. As they stood there, the glow of city lights illuminating their faces, Ted felt a shift in his world. Ava's kindness had transformed his despair into a glimmer of possibility. Together they would navigate the challenges ahead, forging a path toward his culinary dreams. Unbeknownst to Ted, Ava was also embarking on a journey, one that would test her own resilience and beliefs. In helping him, she realized she too would discover the depths of her own strength and purpose. Their shared journey was just beginning, and as they stood under the vast night sky, hope danced like stars above, bright and unyielding. Little did they know, they were about to change each other's lives forever. Following weeks unfolded like a delicate tapestry, each thread intertwining the lives of Ted and Ava in unexpected and beautiful ways. Their initial meeting blossomed into a partnership, one rooted in a shared determination to overcome obstacles and cultivate dreams. Ted found himself waking up each day with a renewed sense of purpose. He would rise early, the sun barely kissing the horizon, and spend his mornings immersing himself in culinary techniques through online courses. The opportunities Ava had introduced to him felt like rays of sunlight breaking through a long-standing fog. As the days turned into weeks, Ava would often visit the bistro during Ted's shifts to bring him lunch. She would sit at a corner table, her bright eyes sparkling with encouragement as she watched him navigate the restaurant's rhythm with newfound confidence. One afternoon, as they shared a simple meal, she asked, "What has been your favorite dish to make so far?" Ted's eyes lit up. "I made a risotto the other day that turned out perfectly. It was creamy, with just the right balance of flavor." He chuckled, remembering the way he had to coax the rice to absorb the broth. "I almost didn't think I could pull it off." "That's amazing," Ava exclaimed, her voice filled with genuine enthusiasm. "You were already crafting magical dishes. Imagine what you could do with formal training." Ted felt hope rising within him. "Sometimes, I wonder if I'll really be able to do it. It feels so far away." "Remember, every great chef started somewhere," Ava reminded him, her gaze steady. "You have the passion that is half the battle. With perseverance, I believe you can achieve anything." Yet inner doubt still nagged at Ted. His life as a waiter offered a sense of stability, but it was also a constant reminder of the struggles he faced. His family relied on him, and the thought of leaving them behind for culinary school was daunting. Nevertheless, Ava's encouragement propelled him forward. On one particularly rainy afternoon, Ava arrived with a stack of brochures in hand. "Have you been researching culinary schools? There are some that offer scholarships for people with talent and passion. I think you should apply." Ted looked at the brochures, his heart fluttering with excitement and anxiety. "What if I don't get in? What if I am not good enough?" "Then you'll try again," Ava said, her voice unwavering. "And I'll be right here with you, cheering you on. You're more talented than you believe." Overcoming his fear felt monumental, but with Ava's unwavering support, Ted finally decided to apply. They spent evenings crafting essays and preparing his application, weaving together his story and aspirations. Ava's presence transformed the daunting task into an adventure, filled with laughter and shared dreams. As the weeks slipped away, Ted's dedication bore fruit. He received acceptance letters from a couple of culinary schools, each expressing their eagerness to welcome him. His heart raced with disbelief and joy, but amidst this victory, doubts lingered like a shadow. "I don't know if I can afford the tuition," Ted confessed one evening, looking down at the acceptance letter in his hands. "These scholarships help, but it is still a lot of money." Ava's expression softened. "What if we organize a fundraiser? We could gather the community, you've built connections at the bistro, they'll want to support you." Ted's initial hesitance melted away as he considered the idea. "You really think people would care enough to help?" "Absolutely," she replied, her tone unwavering. "You've made an impact on more people than you realize. Let us reach out and share your story." With a spark of hope ignited in his heart, Ted agreed. Ava sprang into action, rallying friends, family, and even local businesses to contribute. They organized a charity dinner at the bistro, where Ted would showcase his culinary skills through a special menu, the proceeds going towards his education. As the event day approached, Ted felt a whirlwind of emotions. The thought of standing in front of a crowd showcasing his creations was both exhilarating and terrifying. Ava assured him, "You've got this. Just remember why you were doing it." On the night of the event, the bistro was alive with the aromas of culinary magic. Tables were adorned with flickering candles, laughter filled the air, and anticipation crackled like electricity. Friends and patrons, having heard Ted's story, filled the room, eager to support his journey. As he stepped into the kitchen, his heart raced. Ava was by his side, her calm presence grounding him amidst the chaos. "Just be yourself," she whispered. "You are not just feeding them, you are sharing a piece of your soul." The first course hit the tables, and as Ted watched patrons savor the dishes he had poured his heart into, a warmth enveloped him. Laughter echoed, and patrons complimented him on the flavors, igniting a fire within him. It was a taste of what his future could hold. "Every plate is a story," Ted said to Ava, his eyes gleaming with passion. "Each ingredient represents a part of who I am." As the evening unfolded, the bistro transformed into a celebration of resilience. Ted shared his journey with the guests, his words weaving together threads of hope and determination. People listened, inspired by his story, and by the end of the night, they had raised more than enough to cover his tuition. Ted was overwhelmed, tears welling in his eyes as he looked at Ava, who stood quietly beaming with pride. "I can't believe this is happening." "Believe it," she said, stepping forward to pull him into a warm embrace. "You deserved this and so much more." But the joy was tinged with an underlying current of fear. As he prepared to enter culinary school, Ted still wrestled with the thought of abandoning his family and the responsibilities that weighed on his shoulders. His mother, who had worked tirelessly to provide for them, had always encouraged him to pursue his dreams, yet he worried about leaving them behind. One evening, Ted sat down with his mother, the weight of his heart heavy in the air. "Mom, I got accepted into culinary school." He held his breath, waiting for her reaction. Her eyes widened in surprise, and then she smiled, her joy palpable. "Oh, Ted, that's wonderful. You've always had talent. But I don't want to leave you and Dad. I worry about how things will be without me here," he confessed, his voice trembling. Her expression softened, and she took his hand. "You have to follow your dreams. We will be okay. Your father and I have always supported you. Your success will inspire your siblings." Tears streamed down Ted's cheeks as his mother's words washed over him like a balm. Her unwavering faith in him filled him with courage. He realized that pursuing his dreams didn't mean abandoning his family, it meant leading by example. As the first day of culinary school dawned, Ted stood outside the bright building, a mix of excitement and trepidation swelling within him. He could hardly believe he was here, ready to step into a world he had once only dreamt of. The realization that he had overcome so much to reach this moment ignited a fire in his soul. Inside, he was greeted by a vibrant community of fellow aspiring chefs, each with their own stories of resilience and passion. As they shared their backgrounds, Ted felt a sense of belonging wash over him. They were all there for the same reason, to pursue their culinary dreams. Weeks turned into months, and as Ted immersed himself in the world of flavors, techniques, and creativity, he flourished. Every lesson, every challenge shaped him into the chef he aspired to be. He found joy in experimenting with new recipes, often sending pictures to Ava, who would respond with enthusiasm and encouragement. "You read during it, Ted. I can't wait to taste everything," she would write, her words lighting up his day. As he progressed through the program, Ted became a source of inspiration for his peers. His journey from waiter to culinary student resonated with many, proving that dreams could indeed be achieved through hard work and perseverance. One evening, back at the bistro for a special event, Ted stood behind the counter, exhilaration coursing through him. He had returned to share his newfound skills, showcasing a menu inspired by his culinary education. Ava was there, her eyes sparkling with pride as she watched him interact with guests. "You've come so far," she said softly, her voice warm and encouraging. "For all the support you've given me, I owe you more than I can express," Ted said, sincerity etched in every word. As the night came to a close, he found himself reflecting on how far they had both come. Ava had also grown, using her privilege to champion causes close to her heart, becoming an advocate for underprivileged youth pursuing education and creativity. Together, the journeys had intertwined, weaving a story of hope, resilience, and the undeniable strength of the human spirit. Ted's dreams of becoming a chef had taken flight, and Ava had discovered her own purpose in the process. In the midst of laughter and shared stories, Ted looked around the bistro, feeling the warmth of community enveloping him. The journey had not always been easy, but every struggle, every moment of doubt had propelled him forward. As he served his dishes, the smiles of satisfied patrons reminded him of why he had fought so hard. He realized that joy came not only from accomplishing dreams, but also from the connections forged along the way. In that moment, under the soft glow of the bistro, Around the bistro, laughter spilled from every corner, mingling with the enticing aroma of gourmet dishes. Ted stood behind the counter, his heart pounding with excitement and nerves. Tonight wasn't just another busy evening, it was a celebration of his journey, a culmination of dreams and determination. The bistro was adorned with twinkling lights, and the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Friends, family, and supporters filled the seats, eager to taste the dishes crafted with love and creativity. Each plate Ted prepared was more than just food, it was a story, a testament to his resilience. "Are you ready?" Ava's voice broke through his thoughts, gentle yet firm, as she stepped beside him, her presence always a calming force. Ted nodded, though his stomach twisted with anxiety. "I think so. I just want it to be perfect." "It will be. Just remember, you're resharing a piece of yourself. Let that passion shine through," she said, placing a reassuring hand on his arm, her eyes sparkling with belief. With a deep breath, he took his first order, a classic risotto, the very dish that had ignited his passion months ago. As he worked, the rhythm of the kitchen engulfed him, blocking out the chatter and laughter beyond the counter. He poured his heart into each stir, recalling the countless nights spent dreaming of this very moment. First plates made their way out, and within moments, the bistro filled with sounds of delight and surprise. "This is incredible," exclaimed a familiar voice from the crowd. It was Mrs. Harper, a regular at the bistro, her eyes wide with genuine appreciation. Ted felt his insides warm with joy. "Thank you, Mrs. Harper, that means a lot coming from you," he called back, a broad smile spreading across his face. As the night unfolded, he continued to create magic with his dishes. A seared salmon with a citrus glaze, a rich chocolate mousse for dessert, each plate received a warm reception, and with every compliment, Ted felt his confidence blossom. He had transformed from the mop waiter into a chef who infused his soul into every bite. Yet amidst the jubilation, a shadow of doubt lingered. Would his success last? Would he be able to sustain his craft and remain true to himself? Those questions gnawed at him even as laughter and warmth enveloped the room. Later, as the evening drew to a close, Ted stepped outside for a moment of fresh air. The crisp night burned away the remnants of anxiety, and he gazed up at the stars. He thought of his family, their sacrifices echoing in his mind. They had always believed in him, even when he doubted himself. "Hey, you alright?" Ava's voice broke into his thoughts as she joined him, her expression softening at the sight of his contemplative gaze. "Just thinking," he replied, turning to face her. "About how far I've come, but also about what comes next." Ava leaned against the wall, her presence a comforting anchor. "You've made a name for yourself tonight, Ted. Don't let fear of the future overshadow your successes. You've proven you can overcome anything." "I know, but it feels like I am standing at the edge of a cliff. What if I fall?" he confessed, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Then you'll find a way to fly," she said, her eyes steady and determined. "You'll learn to navigate every challenge, just like you've done before." Her faith in him ignited a flicker of hope. "Thank you for always believing in me, Ava. I don't know what I'd do without you." She smiled, her expression glowing with warmth. "You'd still be incredible, but I am glad we get to do this together. Your journey is inspiring, and it is only just beginning." As the night air wrapped around them, Ted made a silent promise to himself. He would embrace the future with courage, no matter the obstacles. With Ava by his side and the memories of his struggles fueling his determination, he felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. In the following weeks, Ted's life buzzed with excitement and unpredictability. Culinary school consumed his days, filled with lessons on techniques, cuisines, and the nuances of flavor. Each day felt like peeling back layers of an onion, revealing new depths of knowledge and skills. One afternoon, as he chopped vegetables in class, his instructor praised his progress. "You have a natural talent, Ted. Keep honing your skills and you'll go far." Those words resonated within him, pushing him to strive harder. Yet, as he immersed himself in his studies, the weight of financial strain loomed larger. Tuition, living expenses, and supporting his family felt like an ever-present cloud. He often found himself waking in the middle of the night, anxiety swelling about how to keep everything balanced. One evening, he sat with Ava after a long day at school, fatigue evident in his eyes. "I've been thinking about taking on extra shifts at the bistro. It is getting harder to manage everything," he confessed, stirring his coffee absent-mindedly. Ava frowned, concern clouding her features. "Ted, it's important to focus on your studies. Your passion deserves your full attention." "I know, but it is hard. What if I can't make it? What if my family struggles because I am chasing this dream?" he said, vulnerability spilling from him like an open wound. Ava reached across the table, her touch gentle yet firm. You have to trust that Yuri doing this for a reason. Your family loves you and wants you to succeed. Yuri not failing them by pursuing your dreams. He sighed, the weight still heavy on his heart. I just don't want to let them down. Then don't use their love as your motivation. Yuri not alone in this, Ted. Lean on me. Lean on the community that believes in you. Her words penetrated his heart, igniting a warmth that fought against the chill of his worries. Thank you, Ava. I'll try to remember that. Just keep creating. Keep dreaming. Yuri not just a waiter anymore. Yuri chef in the making, she reminded him, her voice brimming with encouragement. With renewed determination, Ted focused on his studies, pouring his heart into every dish he created. He sought inspiration from local farms, experimenting with seasonal ingredients whenever he could. His passion fueled him, and slowly he began to gain recognition within the culinary school community. During a special competition held at school, Ted faced off against his peers, showcasing his unique style and creativity. With Ava cheering him on from the sidelines, he prepared a dish that melded the flavors of his heritage with modern techniques, a dish that told his story. As he plated his creation, nerves entwined with excitement coursed through him. The judges tasted and deliberated, their expressions inscrutable. But when they announced the winners, Ted's heart soared as they called his name. "You've captured the essence of culinary artistry with your flavors," the head judge praised. "This is a dish that tells a story." Elated, he turned to find Ava beaming, eyes filled with pride. "I knew you could do it," she shouted, rushing to embrace him. "This is just the beginning, Ted." In the aftermath of his victory, Ted's perspective shifted. The recognition didn't just validate his culinary skills, it also reaffirmed the belief that dreams could be attained through perseverance and passion. He had proven to himself that he was capable of greatness, a flame now kindling brightly within him. But as months passed, the reality of balancing work, school, and family continued to challenge him. The pressure mounted, and Ted found himself stretched thin, battling exhaustion and lingering doubts. One evening, as he returned home to find his mother still working late, he felt the familiar weight of responsibility settling back on his shoulders. "Mom, you need to rest," he urged, gently taking the worn-out paper from her hands. "I'll rest when there's more money for the bills, Ted. I appreciate your help, but you have to focus on your studies," she replied, her voice weary but resolute. "Please, let me help you," he pleaded, desperately wanting to ease her burden. "I'll take on more shifts, I can handle it." Her gaze softened as she looked at him, her heart full of love and pride. "You're doing so much already, my dear. Just remember why you're in school. You're destined for greatness, and we'll manage." The faith his mother had in him reignited the determination he thought had flickered out. I want to make sure you and Dad are okay. I can let you down." "You could never let us down, Ted. You're our hope, our light. Follow your dreams, and we will be fine," she said, her voice filled with an unwavering belief that strengthened his resolve. In that moment, Ted understood. His path was not just about his aspirations, but also about inspiring those around him to believe in themselves. Life would always present challenges, but it was about rising above them, illuminating the way for others. With renewed vigor, he threw himself into his culinary studies, determined to balance his responsibilities while continuing to grow. He found the strength within himself to face the upcoming challenges, realizing that hope was a powerful ally propelling him forward. One evening, after a long day of classes, he and Ava sat under the stars, reflecting on their journeys. "I feel like I am finally starting to find my rhythm," he found himself saying, his voice filled with a mixture of pride and disbelief. "I've never felt more alive, like I am truly on the path I was meant to be on." Ava turned to him, her eyes shimmering with warmth in the soft glow of the streetlights. "You worked so hard, Ted. This is just the beginning of what you could achieve. I believe in you more than you know." "Sometimes I worry," he admitted, his gaze wandering to the constellation-studded sky. "What if I falter? What if I can't balance everything? The schoolwork, the bistro, and my family, it all feels like a lot." "It is a lot," she acknowledged, her tone empathetic. "But look how far you've come. You've already proven that you can handle challenges. Remember, it is okay to lean on others when you need help." He sighed, feeling a mixture of gratitude and uncertainty. "I want to support my family, but I also want to chase my dreams. I feel like I am being pulled in two different directions." "Then find a way to blend them," Ava suggested, her voice thoughtful. "Your passion for cooking can inspire your family. You're not just doing this for yourself, you're paving the way for them too. Your success will show them that dreams can come true." Her words struck a chord within him, illuminating a path he had yet to consider. "You're right. If I succeed, I can show them what is possible. It is not just about me anymore, it is about us. I want to uplift everyone." Exactly, she affirmed, her smile radiant. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, I am always here to remind you of your strength. Your journey is ours, and you are never alone in this. In the weeks that followed, Ted embraced this new perspective. Each day at culinary school felt like a brushstroke on the canvas of his future. He poured his heart into every dish, often experimenting with flavors that echoed his heritage and the love of family meals shared with his siblings. One evening, he decided to invite his family over for a special dinner, determined to share his culinary journey with them. As he planned the menu, the excitement bubbled within him. This would be more than just a meal, it would be a celebration of dreams and resilience. The night arrived, and Ted's heart raced as he set the table, adorned with simple yet elegant touches. He prepared a feast that included a rich chicken adobo, creamy garlic mashed potatoes, and a vibrant salad bursting with color. For dessert, he crafted a luscious mango mousse reminiscent of his childhood. As his family gathered around the table, their laughter filled the room, enveloping Ted in warmth. "This smells incredible," his younger sister, Mia, exclaimed, her eyes wide with astonishment. Ted grinned, a sense of pride swelling in his chest. "I made it all just for you guys. This is my way of sharing my journey with you." His mother looked at him, her eyes glistening with emotion. "You've always had talent, Ted. I am so proud of you. You're returning your dreams into reality." As they sat down to eat, Ted felt a profound connection to his family, sharing not just food but the love and support that had nurtured his aspirations. Every bite was filled with flavors and memories, and he shared stories of his culinary school experiences between mouthfuls. "Tell us about that competition you won," his father encouraged, leaning forward with interest. Ted's heart soared as he recounted the moment of victory, the rush of emotions, and the sense of accomplishment. "I was terrified, but I poured everything into that dish. It felt like I was telling my story through food." His siblings listened intently, rapt with attention. "You should do that more often. You read like a superhero, chef," Mia said, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "Yeah, Ted, you are our hero," his older brother chimed in. "Keep pushing forward. We're rooting for you." In that moment, surrounded by the unwavering support of his family, Ted felt the weight of his worries begin to lift. They believed in him, and that belief fueled his resolve to overcome any challenges that lay ahead. As weeks turned into months, Ted continued to excel in culinary school, gaining recognition for his creativity and dedication. He formed lasting friendships, and together, they explored the culinary world, sharing ideas, inspirations, and laughter. Yet, the reality of financial strain loomed over him. Tuition bills piled up, and he felt the pressure mounting as he balanced his part-time shifts at the bistro with his studies. On the evenings when fatigue seeped into his bones, he often found himself lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wrestling with his thoughts. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, he met up with Ava, their favorite calf, hoping to find solace in her company. As he sipped his coffee, he couldn't hide the worry etched on his face. "What's on your mind?" she asked, concern threading through her voice. "I don't know how much longer I can manage this," he admitted, rubbing his temples. "Between school, work, and supporting my family, I am stretched too thin. Some days, it feels like I am running on empty." Ava reached across the table, her hand resting gently on his. "You don't have to carry it all alone. Have you thought about talking to your instructors? Many schools offer assistance for students who are struggling. There might be resources available." "I just don't want to feel like a burden," he replied, his voice heavy with uncertainty. "I should be able to manage this on my own." "Ted, seeking help isn't a sign of weakness," Ava said, her expression earnest. "It's a brave step toward finding balance. You're doing incredible things. You deserve support. There's no shame in asking for it." Her words resonated deeply within him, igniting a flicker of hope. "You're right. I can't be afraid to reach out. I need to take care of myself in order to take care of my family." With Ava's encouragement, Ted approached his instructors the following week. To his surprise, they were understanding and offered him guidance on managing his workload and exploring scholarship opportunities. Feeling a renewed sense of optimism, he applied for several scholarships and sought ways to lighten his financial burden. Along the way, he also learned the importance of self-care and creating boundaries, allowing himself to breathe. As the end of the semester approached, Ted was met with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. He had worked hard, but the fear of not being enough lingered like a shadow. One evening, as he stood in front of the mirror, he took a moment to reflect on his journey. "You've come too far to give up now," he whispered to himself, determination flooding his veins. "You've faced challenges head-on and emerged stronger. You're a chef in the making, and you deserve every bit of success." The night of the final presentation arrived, and Ted felt a whirlwind of emotions. He had prepared a special dish that represented his journey, a fusion of flavors that told his story, a homage to his roots and the dreams he had nurtured. As he plated the dish, the colors burst vibrantly, and the aroma filled the air, captivating everyone around him. When the judges tasted his creation, he held his breath, uncertainty swelling within him. Finally, the head judge emerged with a radiant smile, declaring, "This dish beautifully encapsulates the essence of culinary artistry. Your ability to weave personal stories into your food is exceptional." Ted's heart soared as the applause filled the room. The validation washed over him like a wave, reaffirming his belief in himself. He had overcome obstacles, faced fears, and emerged victorious not just as a chef but as a person who believed in the power of dreams. After the presentation, Ava rushed to him, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You did it. I knew you could. Your dish was outstanding." "Thank you for always believing in me," Ted said, pulling her into a tight embrace. "I couldn't have done this without your support." As they stood there, surrounded by laughter and celebration, Ted felt a profound sense of belonging. He had turned his tears of doubt into a journey of joy, transforming his struggles into strength. The night came to an end, but Ted knew this was just the beginning of a greater adventure. His journey was filled with challenges yet to come, but with Ava by his side, the belief in his dreams ignited a fire that would never be extinguished. As they walked home under the vast night sky, Ted understood that life was a tapestry woven with struggles and triumphs. He had found resilience in the face of adversity, and he would continue to inspire others along the way, one dish at a time. Hope would always be his guiding star, illuminating the path to a brighter future.